In this video, we will be building an AI agent for SQL. We will be using Composio, LangChain, and OpenAI. The primary purpose of this video is to get you introduced to this tool set for AI agents, which is called as Composio. Composio seems like a good tool set to integrate AI agents to best agentic tools and use them to accomplish various tasks. One of the good things which I found out about Composio is that it comes ready-made built with a lot of tools such as for software like GitHub, Notion, Linear, Gmail, Slack, Salesforce, and 90 more. Plus, it also deals with operating system. With the help of it, you can click anywhere, type anything, copy to clipboard, and much more. Also, it can deal with your browser functions, search functions like web search by using a lot of tools, including Perplexity, Tavily, Exa, and various others. You can also use it with software benchmarks and databases like Redis, SQL databases. You can do RAG with it for any type of data on the fly. Also, you can integrate it with OpenAI, Claude, Llama Index, LangChain, CrewAI, AutoGen, Gemini, and heaps of more, which is quite good. Also, it provides you a white label in the backend of your application, managing authentication and integrations. But one thing, of course, it's sort of you would need a Composio API key. So for that, you would need to go to their website, and from here you would need to sign up, log in, and then you would need to click on settings to grab your API key. I believe there will be charges if you go up till certain limit, but I think there is also a free tier, and that is what I'm going to use for this video. Other than that, because we are getting a lot of tools out of the box, so of course we have to pay for it, and that is where I think they are putting their business in. But anyway, regardless of that, seems like a good tool where if you don't want to build the tooling by yourself, you just want to build your AI agent using all of these tools, then this might be a good option. So let's get started. First up, let's get it installed, and then we will see how can we build a SQL agent. I will drop the link to their GitHub repo in video's description, because one thing I found that they have quite a good examples to build SQL and various other agents from there, which you can follow through. And we will be using their GitHub repo too. So let's go to my local system and then we will get started with the installation. Before I show you the installation, let me give a huge shout out to Mass Compute who are sponsoring the VM and the GPU which I'm going to use for this video. If you are looking to rent a GPU on affordable price, then I will drop the link to their website and also a coupon code of 50% discount on a range of GPUs. I am using them for quite some time and the performance is really good. This is a VM I'm using, and the GPU card is 48 GB of VRAM NVIDIA RTX A6000. Okay, so let me clear the screen. Also, I always use Conda to keep everything separate from your local system. Let's get it installed. And then it is not only creating a virtual environment, but it is also activating it. Should not take too long. That is done. Let me clear the screen. Next step, let's git clone the repo of Composio and then also enter into it. There you go. So let me clear the screen and show you the components of this repo. So there you go. So we have a lot of stuff here. And now let's cd to this directory Python, and then there should be an examples one. And there are various examples which you can follow, but we are more interested in the SQL one. So I'm just going to go with SQL, and then from here we can go with the SQL agent plotter. Let me clear the screen. Now here, if I do the ls-ltra, you would see that we have few files which we need to use. First, we need to run this setup.sh, which is a shell script, and I will also walk you through what exactly it is doing. Let's first run it, and then we will see the code too. But before I run it, I believe I would need to set it as an executable, because in Linux, if you check these are just read and write ones. So we just need to make sure that it is executable file, and then we can run it by simply, sorry, this is a thing when we block something. Okay, so let's run the setup.sh, and it is going to install all the prerequisites. It is creating yet another virtual environment, but that is fine. It is building all the dependencies. Let's wait for it to finish. It has given me an error. Okay, so what it's saying is that it would need um, another pip command and plus something more. But as it hasn't really broken down, so I will just let it go. And I'm just going to enter my OpenAI API key, which it is asking to put it in environment file, and then I will clear the screen. So I have cleared my screen, and if I do the ls-ltra again, you will see that it has created a .env file, which contains my OpenAI API key, which I have just entered, and then the key from Composio, the API key you got from there. You would need to open this file and put it in there. Let me also do that shortly. But if you remember, we also got an error there. So whenever that thing happens, all you need to do is to just first check what exactly that script is doing. Let's do the troubleshooting together. Now in this one, you see all it is doing it installing the requirement, nothing else. So I think they have just needlessly made it harder, but anyway, so let me clear it. And then if I do the requirements dot, let me see where that is. So there is requirement.txt. If I open that file, you would see all it is doing is installing all of this stuff. So just in case if that fails, all you need to do is to just install it manually. So for that, I would just suggest you go here. I'm just going to get, and then for that, all you need to do is to pip install Composio dash core, and similarly just put it all of these here. And I'm not sure if .env is needed, so I'm just going to remove it for now because we already have set the environment, and then press enter, and it is going to install it again if it is already not present. So let's wait for it to finish, and that is all we needed to do. And everything is installed now. Let me clear the screen, and we are all good to go. So everything is installed, all the prerequisites are set. Now let me show you the code before we run it. So let me take you to my browser again. So this is a GitHub repo, and first up, this is an environment file where you would need to put your OpenAI API key and also the Composios key. And then after you set the environment, then this is the main.py which we will be running. So if you look at here, what exactly is happening? What is happening here is we are importing some of the stuff, and then from there we are loading the environment like OpenAI API key and all that stuff from that file. And once that is done, we are setting the model to GPT-4o. This is the OpenAI function agent which is pre-built at Composio, which we are pulling. And this is the beauty, you don't have to define that function. And then here we are setting Composio's API key, and then they are defining few tools like SQL file tool, again another tool set which they are using, you don't have to define it. And then we are also getting the tools for SQL tool, file tool, and code interpreter, and this is for the OpenAI code interpreter for data analysis and stuff. This is where they have just defined their query from the database, and this is a company.db which they have also put it in this GitHub repo. Here you can put your own DB, and I think this is SQLite DB. So, but you can point it to any database of your choice. Once that's done, they are defining the agent. This is a query agent which is using the LLMs, these tools, SQL file tool and prompt, which we have given. This is where agent is being executed, and then this is the agent for code interpreter. So the idea behind creating the agent is same. We create the agent with the relevant tool, and that tool is then passed to the agent executor. And this is where another tool is being used to plot the task, and then final results are being given. So that is all which is happening in this code. And of course, it's very simple. It's all available there. You can customize it as per your own use case. And I will drop the link to this GitHub repo in video's description. So let's go back to our terminal and run it. Okay, so and before you run it, also let's install this python-env. It's always a good idea to install it because if you look at their requirement, I think there's a typo there. So before, sorry, let me show you. I'm just doing the troubleshooting with you guys too. So you see this .env. It's an older thing. These days we don't use it. We use python-env. Normally it comes pre-installed. Okay, it wasn't there, so we have installed it. Cool. So that's said and done. Let's run our code. And this is all we need to do to run it. That python 3 main.py. So let's execute it. And as I have started it, you see that it has started using CrewAI behind the scene and the agents are running. It has created the data, going through the files, going through the chain of thoughts, using different tools like file tool, and then it is just thinking among itself and talking with other agents. And this is the beauty of this agentic software. Going through step by step, how good is that? Then you see that it is just even troubleshooting itself, going through a lot of iterations here, and then it is again going through file write and going through the content and going through multiple iterations. And there you go. So it has given us the final answer after it finished the chain, and this is the final answer. Amazing stuff. And then if you go at the very top, you see that this is where it all started. It entered the chain and then it started executing the agent by using different files, database files and stuff. It also created the log with it. It is creating different queries, and this is where it just went into a loop, debugging itself and then making sure that things were properly arranged, and then it divided it into different steps, and then it went through all of these steps one by one, also read the database tables and then concatenated the data, and there again reused the steps and gave us the final answer. And if you want to check the log, if you see it has even generated a file at the OS level. That is why one reason it used the file tool. So if I do the log.txt, it creates your final answer. So amazing stuff. I think really good if you don't want to go through the hassle of building your own tools, building your own agentic tooling for every other software under the sun. Then I think it's a good option, not a bad option at all. Also, the code which I have used, you can just access readily from their GitHub repo, and I will drop the link in video's description. Make sure to debug it as we did, and that is why I showed you the debugging, so that because if you run it as is, it won't run. You would have to do that debugging which we did. Anyway, that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you're already subscribed, please share it among your network as it helps a lot. Thanks for watching.